Good afternoon. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now. March 19th, 2026. Iran strikes the Haifa refinery in Israel. And we also have some huge breaking news. For the first time in history, still unconfirmed by the United States of America, an F-35 has been hit by Iran's air defense. Guys, your likes, your comments. Let's start Military Strategies.
Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now on your information channel. Like every day, things are happening. Things are going on right now, at this very moment. There are Hezbollah attacks in the north. There has been an impact in Kiryat Shmona. There are injured people, and there has been an impact in Haifa. Just a little while ago, 3 consecutive waves of Gara missiles were launched from Iran with very special ammunition. Some of them, and we have video, we have a lot of things. We already have official confirmation of what happened last night in the Caspian Sea, and also the bombshell of what could be, nothing more and nothing less. And we also changed the caption of what was happening last night. There's another person who died as a result of that attack, a pregnant woman with a baby, both of whom have died. And right now we would have nothing more and nothing less, pending official confirmation, which is no joke. The first direct encounter of an F-35 with an air defense system, it could be the first incident worldwide in which the F-35 has come under anti-aircraft fire. And in this case, it happened in Iran. That's right. Is it possible that the 5th-generation aircraft, one of the jewels of American aviation, could have been damaged? We'll discuss this during the program and share more details. Fam? Amazing, right? Amazing, 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 fam. We are very close to 500,000 followers, really. We are very close. We just need one more step. Please subscribe to the channel, leave your likes, your comments. It's super important so we can keep growing every day and keep contributing. More real-time information about what's happening, about what's going on. Unfiltered information. When something happens, we tell you about it. When it happens, really, we say it with total transparency. We shouldn't make it easy for misinformation. This channel, the root of this channel, the soul of this channel is clear, real information against misinformation. Let's look at images now of what happened a little while ago. Yesterday, Israel destroyed part of the facility of Iran's largest oil well, a key facility for its economy. Did Israel manage to completely paralyze it? Well, today Iran has responded. Yesterday it attacked Qatar's main facility. It has attacked Saudi Arabia. There is a complete shutdown of refineries in Saudi Arabia. The ones in the Red Sea have also shut down, because there have been drone attacks even there. From Iran all the way to the Red Sea they've reached with drones. The Houthis still don't dare to launch anything. But be careful, because they could dare at any moment. And they could cause real chaos if they start launching drones from Yemen. Well, and the latest, yesterday Hezbollah tried it against the Rotenberg station in Israel, the power station, and today they've done it to Haifa. Images from Haifa. There it is. Images from Haifa showing a fire inside the refinery located near the port. A key refinery, and right now there are areas in the Haifa region that have lost access to electricity. Those are the images and more videos. Israel says today we're seeing it officially, that there was no direct impact, only a missile fragment fell. That 2 vehicles and some machinery were damaged, but that it will be restored immediately. Immediately. I don't know if those were 2 vehicles or not. I'm not there. The black smoke. But we're not there. It could be a vehicle that has obviously been loaded maybe with fuel. Shrapnel could have fallen, a fire could have started, there's a lot of flammable material there, very dangerous material. One of the biggest dangers of this kind of attack is the cloud that forms after the explosion. It can carry toxins that are harmful to health, according to Israel. There is, in principle, no concern about air quality, and no extra measures need to be taken in the Haifa area. At the moment, we are not in that scenario. We will have to see how things develop as things arrive, as things happen at this moment. At the same time, Israel is attacking fiercely by land in Lebanon. We have images here with us that are incredible to see, and this is starting to look more like the full-blown Gaza war. Let's take a look. Images of engineering teams destroying tunnels and underground facilities. That's right, but going back to the missile, what Iran has launched. Image of the launch of that missile. I'm blown away!
Footage of the team of engineers destroying tunnels.
They're crazy. They're completely crazy. According to the footage we're seeing. With my limited knowledge, which you already know is minimal, it could be the Ghadar-1 missile, an improved variant of the Shahab-3, specifically the Shahab-3A version, or Ghadar-110, Ghadar-1. There's always been much speculation about this missile. Capacidades, no? It has a range of no less than 2,000 kilometers. It has a peculiar thing, very peculiar. It's similar to the Sejil, but a little bit smaller. And it combines liquid fuel stage and solid fuel stage. The first stage, the initial propulsion stage, uses liquid fuel. That's the one you're seeing right now, in this first phase of the missile. And once it's depleted and separates, because it has 2 phases, the solid fuel stage begins. It's dangerous because it's a missile. Also within its 19,000 kilos of weight, no more, no less, 19,000 kilos, it can carry cluster warheads, high explosive warheads, and penetration warheads. It's very different from the Shahab-3, whose warhead in this case is more conical. Can you see the tip it has? We're going to see it over here. It's the shape this missile has, a conical shape. Let's see if we can get the frame there. That frame works for us. And it's a missile that can pose very, very significant risks for Israel. In fact, we believe and think that what has been launched lately could be this type of missile. Baby bottle shaped, the warhead. But according to a 2008 report, careful, because it's not that accurate. It's a missile that can land within a 300-meter radius. It should also be said the Shahab 3 has a target error radius from the point it's directed to. That is, imagine a point they've marked for the missile to hit. The Shahab 3 has 2,500 meters, 2.5 kilometers, where it could land within 300 meters of that point. That's why you have to understand it. When the alarm goes off in Israel, such a large map of possible targets or cities is created. It doesn't mean that 200 missiles or 179 missiles have been launched just because there are 179 alarms or 200 alarms. It's simply nothing more and nothing less. That the missile is not precise and can fall anywhere. Iran also has other types of much more precise missiles like the Sijil and the Emad. But this one in particular is quite cheap to build, and they have several of them. Therefore, with its 15 meters in length, it's a missile to be taken very seriously. Very much to be taken into account when it comes to war because there is still war ahead. In this video, we see how some of those missiles are transported, different types. We see the Desful, the Zolfagar. Is the one we're talking about also going to show up there at some point? And these are missiles that some have a lot of precision, others don't have as much precision, but they're made so big, with so much destructive power, that it doesn't matter. Even if the missile lands 300 meters away from the target, it's going to do a lot of damage. This morning I was actually talking, let's add a bit of music to this. This morning I mentioned something interesting. This morning there were quite a few missile barrages since midnight. Iran has been launching missiles against Israel. Talking with another community on a different channel, I mentioned that many of these missiles, some of them break apart before reaching their target. They come out defective. Why do they have so many fiberglass components? Fiberglass is cheap to produce and offers slight resistance to heat. What happens is the following. Since Iran is launching those missiles at a lower altitude, the friction time that occurs on the missile is greater. It heats up much more because its journey takes place at a much lower altitude. In the re-entry layer, it doesn't make it out into space. It does this to avoid the Arrow 3 system and the THAAD system, which causes some of these to break apart. Others are also launched at low altitude with cluster munitions to assault the Arrow 3 system and the THAAD system. If the Arrow 3 systems and the THAAD system were working against this type of missile, we wouldn't see images of cluster munitions falling on Israel. Or what happened this afternoon at the refinery. Also because Iran is using an attack vector from 1,000 kilometers away. They are possibly using what I have been warning about for a long time, the so-called missile farms. Underground facilities that don't have mobile launchers and can't be seen from the air. They could have a few of those, if not many. That's where we are. Family, we're live right now here on Military Strategies. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us live. There have been many important statements, and we also have some important breaking news from inside Iran. Pay close attention to this because I think it's really going to catch all of our attention. I say pay attention to this because the first surrenders are happening, the first surrenders inside Iran. This might be the first one we see, but it won't be the only one. Attention, family. First surrenders under a bridge. The Basij with a white flag, so that the Israeli drones see them signaling ceasefire. We surrender. The Basij surrender. It would be one of the headlines. Important at this moment. They know there's nowhere to hide from Israel and it's spreading. It's spreading. Breaking news. In which Israel confirms that it has struck more than 8,500 targets. According to the Israeli army, the Haifa oil refinery was hit by fragments of an intercepted missile. There were no direct impacts on the facilities. And Donald Trump is today with the President and Prime Minister of Japan. No. Or Prime Minister of Japan, because nowadays you never know who you might offend. We have video Donald J. Trump speaking, and there has been a change. The story changes again 24 hours after some countries said they are not going to send anyone to the Strait of Hormuz. Well, things have changed.
そして、平和に、貢献できる、世界中に、平和と繁栄をもたらせるのは
And I believe that only Donald can bring peace and prosperity to the world and contribute to peace everywhere.
The Prime Minister of Japan doesn't speak English. Good news.
Hit because of this development.
でも私は
Day. And what about the neighborhood? Me?
So what about me?
So today, I came here to the House of Representatives to deliver this message directly to you.
And as for Iran, the development, nuclear weapons, well,
This is tremendous. Yesterday we were saying that France, Germany, and other countries were not going to send anyone. It seems there has been a game changer. A change of fire. A fire and a game of fire. Because Qatar has started to burn, Saudi Arabia has started to burn. And it has told its allies in France, in Germany, in the United Kingdom, in Australia, in Japan, either you send help or we're going to raise the price very, very high. Incredible. Incredible. Right now, they're probably considering sending ships to open the Strait of Hormuz. That's how diplomacy works. Either you come and help, or you'll find a little surprise waiting for you at the end of the road. And Donald Trump, who has put everyone to the test, doesn't need them. But what he says, what's it for? Why? Are we going to spend all our money, our arsenal, on something that benefits others more than us? What's it for? Is it a global problem? Global problems need solutions from all over the world, 100%. 100%. I also want to apologize to you, fam. I'm super tired, exhausted. I haven't been able to sleep all night. Besides the attacks and everything else, physically my back can't take it anymore and I'm completely worn out. I'm really, really worn out. More footage. Watch closely. Footage from Israel showing one of the missile silos. Attacked. Bunker-penetrating ammunition entering the missile silos. Ammunition from the ground entering Hezbollah's tunnels. Ammunition, but be careful because now there's a kind of competition. Ammunition, there's competition at this moment. Who sinks more ships in Iran? Last night on Military Strategies, we had the exclusive that the flagship of the Caspian Sea Fleet had been destroyed. The Iris Daileman. Today, Israel shows us the images and confirms it. There it is, the Iris Delaman being sunk. Destroyed. Along with it, all the surface ships of the Caspian Sea Fleet. Israel didn't leave a single one afloat. Now they're all under the sea, and like I said, this is a competition. Israel has released its video attacking the Caspian Sea Fleet, the Caspian Sea Naval Base. The United States has responded. They have released another video. They said if the Israelis strike, we will too. Video from the United States. They have better resolution. And they strike too. Images. Tremendous, fam. Massive bonfire of ships. But the Iris of Philaman, yes, of Philaman, Iris of Philaman. Or of Philaman, of Philaman, of Philaman, Iris of Philaman. Well, the first frame is really impressive, huh? Right in the center. Mind you, the ship was sailing tremendous. Well, we have tension. We have tension at the international level. Let's continue.
Say that this war needs to stop immediately. The aggression needs to stop immediately because everyone knows who the big beneficiary is from this war that has led us to this conflict and unfortunately is happening now. It serves those agendas. Thank you very much.
This war must end immediately. Because we all know who benefits from this war.
The aggression must end immediately.
The aggression needs to stop immediately.
The aggression must end immediately.
Because we all know who benefits from this war and what it brings to the whole region.
We all know who benefits from this war and who dragged us into it.
To this conflict, and unfortunately what is taking place now, it serves those agendas. Thank you very much.
And they are carrying out their own agenda. Qatar and Turkey have met. The one we see is the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Qatar on the right and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkey on the left. Julani's friend is having coffee. Is he wearing his mask?
The crisis.
And they are accusing Israel of being the one responsible for this whole story, that Israel is the one calling the shots in this situation. Who dragged the region into this war? They haven't commented on the United States, since it's their close ally and current protector. But they forget one small but important detail. Iran has all of them held hostage. All of them, what Israel is doing is freeing them all, and on top of that, for free. Don't forget that. I'm saying this for when it comes up. Thank you. The stories. But really, what's happening? What have they done? In the last 48 hours? They have gathered the Arab League. In the last 48 hours, the defense ministers have gathered from all the Gulf monarchies. ¿Para qué? What is the reason they are meeting? They are meeting to prepare an offensive against Iran. an offensive against Iran? But be careful, Iran is not alone. Tajikistan sent today, under the pretext of humanitarian trucks, drones, hundreds of trucks loaded with drones from Tajikistan to Iran. Iran established drone factories in Tajikistan in 2022. Now Tajikistan sends the drones to Iran so they can later launch them against Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the Persian Gulf. I think it's a good time to take out the geography book for a bit. Let's find where Tajikistan is. Because we're going to have another surprise, an even bigger one. Pay attention, because those drones and those trucks are going to have to cross a small stretch of land, actually a pretty big stretch. There is Tajikistan, the border, with Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Afghanistan. If those trucks go through Afghanistan, who's going to keep the drones? The Taliban. If they go another way, who's going to keep the drones? The Tajiks? We might end up seeing that when the time comes, the Taliban could try to infiltrate Iran. To expand their territory. The capital of that whole area is this one, Masjid Khat. In this place, there are also underground facilities. There are also tunnels. There are also bunkers down here. Can you see them there? We still haven't heard any news that they have been destroyed, maybe because they're not a priority at the moment, or maybe because the United States still hasn't detected launches from there. But be careful, because they can target Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, and even they have Israel within range. From the other side, the border with the Afghans might see this as a very tempting opportunity to seize weapons and military know-how that they don't have. They don't have advanced ballistic missiles. The most they have are old Scud missiles hidden somewhere, and they don't even know how to use them tactically. They're from the time of the Soviet invasion. What's going on? Is that so? It is. Iraqi? What did Iraqi say? Our response to the Israeli attack on our infrastructure used only a fraction of our power. The only reason for moderation was respect for the request to de-escalate. There will be no moderation if our infrastructure is attacked again. Iraqi is saying, what are they doing? What do they want with de-escalation? And live right now. Live. Netanyahu live in just a few minutes. 4 injured. Kiryat Shmona. From the Hezbollah attack. Images from Kiryat Shmona. There we see it. Direct impact from a rocket. A rocket has left 4 people injured. Nothing more and nothing less, family. We are live right now. Please, your likes are super important. Let's share the live stream. 22,000 people, thank you so much for joining us live. This is huge. Huge. The war is escalating. There is escalation. The police headquarters in Tehran destroyed. We are going to see it. And the day is not over yet. The day is not over by any means. Police headquarters destroyed.
Police headquarters destroyed. Commentary that is 3.
In Tehran, people now modulate their voices so they won't be recognized. Obviously, they don't want to be identified. And they don't want anything to be known about them. We have tragic news, also very tragic, but before that, family, if you like the content, you have our PayPal, me/military strategies to support us. Super chats are also available for comments and contributions to the channel. And pay attention to this news, pay attention to this damn news. This is inconceivable. While the world is debating whether they should send ships or not, whether they should open the Strait of Hormuz, if gasoline prices are going up, they're not going up, if gas now costs 30% more, this guy, this young man we see there, an athlete, has a name. Next to him, 3 other guys have been eliminated. He is Saleh Mohammadi, champion Iranian sports, a 19-year-old promising talent. And it's terrible. There's also a girl, Melika Azizi. This girl has also been executed for protesting, for raising her voice, for wanting a free Iran. Today executed. The world is debating whether we should intervene or not, or that this aggression has to stop because Israel is dragging everyone in. The world, it's a disgrace. The world we live in is a complete disgrace to history. We haven't learned anything. We thought that World War II would show us that we couldn't allow genocides around the world, but in the year 2026, genocides are allowed. In Nigeria against Christians, in Sudan against Muslims, against atheists, in Yemen against Sunnis, in Iran against everyone, in Lebanon and in Syria, and everywhere in Asia. Myanmar, early in the year, allowed. In China, the Muslim minority. From there, persecuted, massacred. North Korea, Ukraine. The world. It has never been this bad since World War II. In fact, there have never been so many countries involved in a conflict, even during World War II. Do you think so? World War III? Is that it? This is the world we have right now. A world where the lives of innocent people mean nothing. Like them, more than 40,000. 40,000 stories. And there will be many more. Since the beginning of the year. 47 years of dictatorship. The Iranian regime with unimaginable cruelty, torture, experiments on human beings. Humiliations, international level terrorism financing. I'm not the one saying it. The United Nations and intelligence agencies around the world say it. Iran is one of the biggest problems right now at a global level, and it has been for 47 years. Since France put Khomeini on a plane and sent him to Tehran. And now Macron is saying that he won't send anyone to liberate Iran. However, France sent Khomeini to Iran. That's right, however. That's right, however. We continue. Balkan War. F-117 aircraft. The stealth aircraft, a legend of aviation. A marvel of military aviation, was shot down. The United States lost its most valuable plane in history. In Europe, in the Balkans, after that shoot-down, the F-117 was retired. It is no longer officially in use, but it is still used for testing and in some operations. You remember, right? This was the plane that broke through the air defenses in the Gulf War. It wasn't detected by radars except one night when the chief of an anti-aircraft battery from Yugoslavia, a baker by profession, launched a missile that shot down the F-117. Year 2026. F-35 aircraft. The replacement for the F-117 along with the F-22, the stealth-capable aircraft of the United States. Well, it seems that we have a new milestone in this Iran war. For the first time, an F-35 may have been hit by anti-aircraft fire. By anti-aircraft fire. Tremendous, tremendous. These guys are going to go crazy. The plane has landed at a Middle Eastern base. It landed safely. The pilot is fine. They're investigating the damage. We don't know if it was caused by a missile. We don't know. But it seems to be that it was damaged, possibly by an anti-aircraft cannon or something similar. Could it have fallen into an ambush? The plane isn't invisible. The plane isn't invisible. According to reports, it was hit by what is believed to be Iranian fire during a combat mission over Iran. It made an emergency landing at a U.S. airbase in the Middle East. Aerial ambushes, portable anti-aircraft systems that hide, let Israel enter Iranian territory, go deep inside the territory. And when they're within attack range, those anti-aircraft weapons come out of hiding, activate their radar, open fire, and then hide again. If that F-35 was nearby, close to some kind of portable anti-aircraft weapon, could it have come under fire? What makes the F-35 so special, just like the F-22, is its signature. Its radar signature is very small. It has to be very close to that radar or that anti-aircraft system to be detected, to be seen. But obviously that's not the case. It could have failed, although I think the explanation will be something else, less complicated than what we're thinking. I'm saying this because there are also electronic warfare planes operating, so radar-guided missiles wouldn't be able to work. Practically without being destroyed, so we could say that if it was a missile, it was heat-guided. The plane emits a heat signature, even though it's low because it's designed that way, but it still emits it. Or could it have been anti-aircraft artillery fire, like a machine gun? Could it have hit it? Once you fire into the sky, it starts raining down everywhere, so that could be one of the options to explain this incident. But we have more. Pay attention to what Israel says, and it makes sense. A lot of sense, even more. Incredible. The F-18 Growler. Israel could be allowing that the missiles with cluster munitions, some of them fall. With that, they want to conserve anti-aircraft ammunition. Israel, when it detects that it's a cluster missile, would avoid activating the system. Each cluster missile carries 24 or 26 munitions. Imagine launching 26 missiles for each cluster missile. We could run out of munitions very quickly. War is a strategy. Una estrategia. That's why it's important to stay inside the shelters. Images of Haifa, moment of the attack. Let's see if it was the missile or not. Haifa refinery. Let's enlarge the image. You can see it there. It could have been cluster munitions. It could have been cluster munitions, it could have been missile debris, it could have been cluster munitions or missile debris. You can see different impacts. Careful, it could be that it's an impact, and what we're seeing, those flashes, could be electrical short circuits from the wiring, which is also possible. That has also happened, we've seen it on different occasions as well. Those kinds of flashes. It could also be, it doesn't look like an impact, a direct impact, or a fireball. None of that, you don't see any of that, so yes, it could be. Or some small bomblets from that cluster warhead, or the remains of a missile. That have fallen there. Well, now we have more information. Does it make sense? The war is going to be long. We need to conserve missiles. We need to economize on missiles, and cluster missiles are very hard to intercept. They carry from 24 to 80 submunitions, and they can spread them over a range of 80 kilometers. Imagine if the Iron Dawn had to destroy all those submunitions every time they're launched. We would already have a real madness in missile expenditure, and we would practically be talking about not having enough Iron Dawn missiles needed for the North. Most likely, we are in a situation of total strategy, which is also evident. Just a few minutes ago, fifth wave against Haifa. A few minutes ago, the fifth wave was launched against Haifa. No more, no less. There is bad weather in Israel. There are poor weather conditions. And this doesn't help either. In no way does this help. We said we had images showing the headquarters destruction in Tehran. We had seen it clearly. That was happening. It was already that scene. We also had something that happened in the Jerusalem area. Jerusalem. This multiple vehicle collision when the alarm went off. Please, people who are driving, when the alarm sounds, stay calm. Stay calm. Slow down gradually, calmly, and before you reduce speed, turn on your hazard lights. Start moving slowly to the right. Check your mirrors without losing your calm. And keep a safe distance between each vehicle. This way, you avoid these kinds of accidents, which are as dangerous as a missile. We're seeing it right there. Don't suddenly brake, leave your car in the road and run out. You need to do things properly and follow protocol. For everyone's safety. There's time. From the moment the alarm goes off, to get out of the car. Ariel Kanieski and I have done it. On the way from Ashdod to Gushtan, Highway 4. The alarm went off, we were driving, we kept driving for a couple more minutes until we saw an exit from the highway to Yavne. We looked for a place with good visibility, where vehicles weren't going too fast, where the army was already there, preparing to slow down traffic so vehicles could take shelter. I got out of the vehicle. The area is marked and avoided. That's right. The debate over whether Iron Dome's missiles use cluster munitions. A few nights ago, we saw a missile being launched in the north, also from Iran, in which that missile, when it fell, caused material damage, leading to a lot of destruction. Arabs. It was in an Arab village where it fell, and we saw a rather interesting video. I'll explain it again since I did this morning too. The Iron Dome, the Tamir missile system, unlike David's sling, the Patriot system, or the Arrow system, doesn't need to hit directly to bring something down. It does it by proximity. The rockets from Hamas, the rockets from Hezbollah, are relatively small rockets. The fuselage of that missile, that rocket, is thinner. And that means that the nearby explosion of the Tamir missile can destroy that threat in flight. Obviously, the debris still falls. That's 100%. What we're seeing here is not the Iron Dome. What you're seeing there is not the Iron Dome. Why? Because the missiles that shoot down ballistic missiles need to hit the warhead directly. To make sure of the explosion, you need to hit it directly. In fact, it's called hit to kill in English, to ensure the destruction of the threat. All right, that threat that we're seeing, these types of missiles launched by Hezbollah, yes, most of them can be intercepted by the Iron Dome. Or some of them, or a large part of them. Over there, we can see them exploding with the Iron Dome and Tamir missiles. Others slip through because they fly at a very low altitude and at high speed, almost reaching the limit of the range of both sides. But a few nights ago, we saw something that was practically miraculous during one of those attacks. I'm trying to find the video here, because we already have several in our collection of attack missiles. When Iran launched a missile at that place, 2 Iron Dome missiles were launched desperately, practically trying to intercept that threat. Those missiles launched by the Iron Dome pass close to the Iranian missile explode, and seconds later you could see in the footage how the warhead of that missile exploded. The missile hit the ground with the force of kinetic energy, but it no longer had the explosive charge. It had burned up in the air, so the damage was much less. It could have been much worse. It could have been a much more catastrophic situation. What happens when there are cluster munitions, that is, when the small projectiles start to fall, roughly 105 millimeters to give you an idea, with 5 to 6 kilos of explosives. Unlike those from Hezbollah, they come from a greater height, at much higher speed. Against that kind of threat, there would be a possibility for the Iron Dome, because they are smaller, they come at lower speed. The mass is smaller, and obviously destruction becomes possible. The problem is, or what's the story behind this? One story behind this is that launching 80 Iron Dome missiles to intercept those cluster missiles, when you know that if it lands on the surface, it's unlikely to kill anyone if they're in the shelter. It's an expense you can't afford. In a war as long as this one is going to be, and as it has been, already 19 days of war, there are systems you have to preserve for other types of threats. Because, for example, a salvo of rockets from Hezbollah, which weigh more than 6 kilos and have a much more powerful payload. They are more dangerous and are a higher priority when it comes to defending your airspace. Unfortunately, war has become a matter of numbers. That's right. Unfortunately, I say this because people ask a lot, of course. Just imagine that. That's cluster munitions. For example, firing a salvo of missiles to destroy each of the bomblets. Iran would leave you without anti-aircraft missiles in 7 rounds? In 7 rounds, you're out. This was Iran. By the way, we still don't know what weapons were used that day, or what the United States did that day. We still don't know. Impressive stuff today, huh? It's getting a bit clearer now. We're starting to get a little more information about the situation at this moment. Netanyahu is going to speak in a few minutes. We need to hear what he'll say and what will happen. Assault on their civilian infrastructure. We must remember Israel is the one who started it by attacking Iran's largest gas reserve. Iran has responded. This is a war. It was to be expected. Israel already knew this. Israel already knew what could happen. That's right. Strait of Hormuz, we have breaking news. Let's get to it. The Revolutionary Guard is warning ships to immediately leave the Strait of Hormuz, warning them that if they don't, they will be sunk. Donald Trump says there are defections in Iran. Did someone tell him something?
Attention, all ships. Attention, all ships. This is F-35 Navy. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy.
From now on, all navigation through the Strait of Hormuz is prohibited. Is prohibited. They are saying in this video, heard on the radio to the ships in the Hormuz area, that it is not allowed to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Until further notice, they have just completely closed the Strait of Hormuz. They had already done it de facto by shooting at the ships. Now it's official. They even announce it on the radio. Let's see how long the world can hold out. They say that Israel is dragging us into this war. It's a good move. Anything that helps get rid of dictatorships isn't bad. It's actually quite positive. Let's take a look at the current situation in the Strait of Hormuz. Situation map, right now. Here we are. And nothing in the Strait of Hormuz, not a single ship. All the ones you see in red are oil or hydrocarbon tankers, all of them. The green ones are cargo ships. Oh my, the number of ships. What's in that area right now? Unable to move? Was Bibi talking about having to look for other options besides the Strait of Hormuz? That the future has to be not depending on a single route for the world to be free. Netanyahu said that recently, and Iran echoed his words. Today, in fact, they have attacked one of the largest refineries in Saudi Arabia on the Red Sea coast. On the Red Sea coast is one of the largest refineries in Saudi Arabia, and it has been attacked. Evidentemente. Obviously, this is yet another escalation in this whole story. Just one more, not the only one. Right now, the price of oil is going up. Let's check the price of a barrel of Brent. Let's see what it's at. 104. It reached 110 a few hours ago. At 5 in the morning, it went up to 110. Last week we saw a drop. It went up again. Now it's going down a little to 104. But it's clear that in a month, since February 27th, when we had $70 per barrel, well, it just went up right now to 105. We had it at $70 per barrel. Now we're at 105. The price of gasoline is going up. That's undeniable. It's undeniable. The price of natural gas is going to go up too. That's also undeniable. Everything. Because last night, Iran attacked Qatar's largest gas plant. It caused damage, a lot of damage. The United States threatened Iran that if they attacked that site again, they would pulverize them. They attacked it again. At night, they attacked it again. The United States said that Israel had attacked Iran's gas field without the United States knowing, and that Israel was not going to attack Iran's oil infrastructure again. That's what they said last night. I doubt they didn't know. I question it. But hey, it's likely that obviously the United States wants to stay on good terms with its partners, with Qatar, and that's logical. Pedro Sanchez keeps attacking Israel everywhere he goes. The Minister of Defense of Spain also attacking Israel everywhere she goes. Until that government of Spain is gone, Israel will not resume diplomatic relations with Spain. There won't be any, there can't be any. It's not going to happen. The situation right now is very complicated, very complicated. We have to realize this. Very tough days are coming. Very difficult days ahead for everyone. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. One of the most powerful interceptions we've seen in David's sling system. It's incredible, it's incredible, it's incredible what that missile can do. Turning and going backwards. Practically. Look. Oh my God, check out the trail it leaves behind. From going backwards, huh? Impressive. By the way, Kuwait arrested another Hezbollah cell in its territory today. Another one. We have the footage. Kuwait. Drones ready to launch attacks. Sleeper cells prepared. Mobile phones. Books. Jihadist ideology. Tablet, binoculars, power banks. We're seeing it right there. Again, we're seeing another cell. One more. This added to what happened yesterday. A suspicious incident in the United States where, in the presence of Marco Rubio and the Secretary of Defense, some unidentified drones appeared. Fortified. Unidentified. What does that mean? Well, it means they didn't know. They didn't know. We're getting images from Lebanon. Now let's see, they're circulating. The propagandists, Al-Mudina, Arisa, and all those people have already started commenting on this. That this journalist from Russia today, from RT, was recording when, right at that moment, a missile landed next to him. In fact, I'm going to rewind. That photographer? I have a question, just one question. Who would think of that? Look, I've been here in Israel for a month. Could I go right now to the port of Haifa, set up a camera, and do a live broadcast from there? Remember how we did it with the flotilla, watching the ships arrive live? I could go to the Gashten area, somewhere I know they land. I'm not going to say which places, but places where munitions land. I could go there to record live content and make an amazing video. Who in the world, and who in their right mind, would think to start recording on a bridge over the Litani River with the photo of Nasrallah and the Ayatollah in the background, and where Israel just a few minutes ago dropped ammunition to destroy the bridge but didn't completely break it? Whose idea was it? Who would think of climbing on top of the bridge? To record a video? Some people seem to be new or don't know what they're getting into. Next time, the pilot from Israel will come down, land the plane, go to the bridge, and tell the journalist, when you're done, if that's okay with you, when you're finished, please leave the bridge with your camera, so we can bomb it. That way, Hezbollah can't send more weapons south. The evacuation order for the area is for everyone. For everyone? And it's not an order, it's actually a recommendation. Major Kaplan said it. We recommend that people leave for their own safety. Well, for their own safety. He decided to record at the Litani River Bridge. And now here? They're now claiming the attack was intentional and meant to eliminate him. Thank you. I don't think so. We have an exclusive. Thank you. We have an exclusive. Breaking news right now. News, we have the video of the F-35. Video of the first F-35. This is going to make history. We changed the stream title. Because now there really is confirmation. There's video. We have video. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Absolute madness right now, guys. Let's share this on social media right now. Everyone live. Oh my God. This is absolutely crazy. Life. The video of a US F-35 being hit by an Iranian missile. We are live right now. Fam, please, your likes are super important. Historic footage. First time an F-35 has been hit. Let's take a look. March 19th, 2026. War, Israel and the United States against the regime of the Ayatollahs of Iran. Live right now. First footage in history. Of an F-35 being damaged by an anti-aircraft missile. Fam, your likes, your comments? Let's begin. First of all, the plane is not destroyed. If it had been destroyed or shot down, they wouldn't have cut the video. There is a key frame that we can't show here live because we can't edit the video during the live broadcast. It would have taken a little longer, but we're going to show it to you. This system has already been used on some occasions by the Houthis. But you have to see this. You have to see this frame. The missile, which is heat-guided, part of it is guided by video and another part by heat. In fact, it's locked onto that on that fire control system. There's something here that's very interesting. Look at this photo. Now I'm going to explain a little bit to you. This is the frame where the explosion occurs, right behind the F-35. Did the shrapnel from that missile affect the avionics of the plane at any point? Was there any damage or was it too close? And that's why it had to make an emergency landing due to the damage, but it wasn't shot down. Reviewing the video, one thing stands out. People will wonder how they missed detecting the missile approaching the plane. These missiles, the ones Iran has from this type of system, are made to do this. Precisely, an ambush. These are missiles that are guided most of the time by what the operator is seeing, that is this target you're seeing here. Let's move it a little more there. More centered so you can see it. What we're seeing is guiding the missile. The final part of the guidance. The missile, it will seek out the heat. Do you see where the hottest part is in the trail left by the plane? Otherwise, that plane would be shot down. So the impact is not a direct hit, even though it may seem like it, even though it may seem so because of the position. It's not a direct hit because with that impact, the plane would be destroyed in the air. So, according to the photograph we just saw, it happens behind in the wake at the back. It's possible that maybe the pilot at the last moment released a flare that we didn't see. And that could have saved him, automatically. The system detected something and released it. The flares? Possibly yes, but that will be classified information. Is that true? And what we see in this video is that they have also been able to color the heat signature of the plane. So it looks whiter, making it appear there's a larger heat signature. But in the photo, the heat signature is actually much smaller. Did they use video guidance? The infrared guidance system likely activated in the missile's final phase. And that's what happened. At least for now. That's the information we have. That's the information available on this topic. Well then, the first serious incident involving an F-35 in combat, where it hasn't been shot down. I insist, despite everything you're going to read now, you're going to hear, they're going to tell you, they're going to explain to you, they're going to want you to believe. It hasn't been shot down. But it's also a significant blow for the United States. First serious confrontation of a platform in that sense. Extremely serious, too much. What has the Embassy of Iran said about this issue? The Embassy of Iran in Spain. Now they are analysts. No more credibility for the F-35 and United States technology. Iran targets the first F-35. For now, Israel's and the United States F-35s are pulverizing them. Their Air Force hasn't been able to shoot down any planes. Their Air Force has been useless. Thank you. Thank you, because if that explosion... Yes, there's a video modification there. Look at this. Look, how the zoom changes from one frame to another. The frame changes. There's a frame that they've deleted. A frame was deleted. Do you see the green position change? Look, I'll make it easier. I'm going to place my camera right on the green edge of the target. Do you see how there's a gap? The video was altered from the start. We can see a modification right away. Because it doesn't keep its position, and it should. In fact, look, they've edited the video poorly. That image is real. We've caught it. It's the last frame of the video. Look at the plane's thermal signature. You can't see it. It's not visible. I mean, a plane that was just showing us white. Throughout the whole video, you can't see it. In the last frame, where you see the explosion, it's right below. In the heat trail of the engine, the plane was climbing. That's the most delicate moment. And also from behind. I mean, here the plane is white. Oh, no. Now it doesn't catch the last frame. I can't get it. There it is. There it is. The plane was white and then it turns dark. I think it's clear. Modified video. White-colored airplane. Here they slow down the video to slow motion. Look at how it's moving, the vibration. It's vibrating, it's moving. And now it stops. This part is edited, it stops. Video manipulation by Iran again.
Well, it doesn't look like it.
That doesn't mean it wasn't damaged by shrapnel. Those missiles usually have some shrapnel to cause some damage to the avionics. But it's unlikely. Interesting. This is very, very, very interesting. How can a video be manipulated? And now people are going to swallow it whole? How is that? And people are going to swallow it completely, people. Even so, it could have hit the back and the plane kept flying.
Good for the pilot. Great job.
Great job, fam. We are live. Right now. Iran has said that the latest barrage of missiles launched against Israel are for the victims of Epstein's Island. Our target is the idol of Baal, you know, the calf or the demon as these people call it. And Saudi Arabia sends a message to Iran. A graphic message that I believe, moreover, is the prelude to the storm. Today Ramadan ends. Today the month of Ramadan comes to an end.
So pay attention to the video.
Watch the video provided by Saudi Arabia. Amazing, pay attention. A reminder for Iran. Of 15 planes, Abrams tanks, surface ships, anti-aircraft systems, It seems to me that Saudi Arabia is going to war. It looks like that's the case. Tremendous. Oh my goodness. All right. The new Middle Eastern military alliance, the new alliance. Harpoon anti-ship missile. The Saudis have money to afford the war. And a couple more, and a couple more. So, this is interesting. Very, very, very interesting. This whole story, everything that's happening and everything that's going on. Realize that it's not a coincidence, not in any way. My friends from Enlace Studio have a show now. Maybe I'll stop by. I don't know if they'll invite me today or not. We're trying to set a date, but It's possible that I'll stop by there. Yes, I'm going to stop by there. I've been invited to Enlace Studio. I'm going to head over there in just 5 minutes. They're about to start, so everyone, Enlace Studio. Friends, you also have Jotar in quotes, who also has a show now. Up next is Marcelo Kisilensky, who will come later, Jewish history. I'm sure I'll come too, even though my back hurts and I can't feel a single bone in my body anymore. We'll be here on Military Strategies until God decides otherwise. Family, thank you so much for being live with us. We'll see you in the next show here on Military Strategies. Take care.